Good morning. Hi, everybody. Elsewhere here. How's everybody doing? I am back. I did a video about my corseted top here, and I talked about my dolly a little bit. And I just wanted to come back and show you the progress I've made and talk a little bit about what I have going on. First of all, let's talk about obviously plain Jane today. And this is my hair. It's not back combed. I'm probably due for a shower. It may or may not get pulled back, or there might be a wig going on later today, but it's typically what it looks like. I try and take care of my edges and make sure it looks cute, but I got a nice little kind of wave thing going on here, and it's okay. My fringes, my edges are a little whack, but that's okay. I think I can handle it. And then for the outfit, I wanted to share this just real quick. I don't know if I've showed you these. I got these for fall, and these are just basically flannel dresses. And so I really love this because I'll stand back a little bit. It's a high-low, so you got a little bit of that. It's kind of just a little more feminine line. Again, it just kind of accentuates a silhouette nicely. And then today I put this chain under the bust to give me a little bit of shape and definition. There's a little space between my body and my arms. This dress, I got it in 3 colors, of course, because I love it. For one thing, the collar is loose enough. I can button this all the way up, and you guys know I like to be buttoned up most of the time. In fact, I don't know why I'm not right now, but I'm not. I always leave my cuffs open for the most part, because you can see how short this is. The inseams on shirts, no matter how I order them. Sometimes if I find men's garments, they're better at this. But I wish that manufacturers would realize that women have long arms too. So I leave it uncuffed, so it gives it the freedom to move around and I don't feel hindered. Has pockets right here. And this has a ton of extra fabric. I could have, the arm length is really good, and like I said, it buttons here, so I'm happy I got this size. But honestly, there is so much extra fabric. I could have probably gone down one size, and overall it probably would have fit my body a little better. It would have been a little more flattering. I might not have to wear a belt or do anything to really make it, look a little more feminine. But that's what I have going on. They're great for fall. I love it. I got blue and black check and or plaid like this, and a beige with these same grays and whites and blacks running through it, so a really neutral one. And then on my feet today, I got a really good deal on these really high-end, super fabulous Frye boots, but they have to be broken in. They've been at the cobbler for 2 weeks because they didn't come with these pulls, and I could not get these boots on my feet because I couldn't pull on them. And so today I watched a bunch of videos. Said basically oil the boot, keep it warm, wear it in the house for like an hour at a time, and eventually, the width is a little bit tight. I'm not wearing it says to put on a heavy sock. I can't do that in these yet. So alternatively, what I did is I got bunion pads and put them in the narrowest part of the boot on my feet where it's really tight, and soak those in olive oil, and then put these boots on, so the oil and the heat of my foot will kind of start breaking down that leather, And basically, from what I understand and in my own experience, that's just kind of how you break in a boot. Right now it's not comfortable, but I couldn't have asked for a better fit as far as the size. It hugs my heel. I got plenty of room in the toe. Once I work on the width just a little bit, I'll be able to wear, you know, put on my regular socks, and these will be great. So I'm breaking in some boots. And then let's talk about Dolly. So in a previous video, I kind of explained to you guys that I wasn't able to put this blouse on because this lacing wouldn't stay open. It would just collapse in the back, and there was no way for me to open it enough to get it buttoned in the front and then bring it together in the back. So this is where I'm at. I made myself a pincushion, so that can sit right there. This is full of rice and steel wool, and so it's heavy and it won't, it's like a paperweight, and then the steel wool sharpens your pins when you take them in and out. So there we go, homemade scraps. This is a piece of tights. It's just a pair of pink tights. And these are black lace underwear that didn't fit me, and so I just wrapped it around the outside. So cute little pincushion. I put straight pins in here, and on this side you can see how the light catches them, and so I put them in through the ribbon and through the eye that way. So this is stationary, but these slide really easy, and I can't really put any tension on this without these pins wanting to move around, and so I can't actually take this off and put it on my body and expect this to stay put, and that's the point. I need it to stay open. It's also, it's not completely open in the back. I still have about, I don't know, I'll say a ½ inch on each side, and so there's a chance I'm gonna have to redo this anyway. So but what I wanted to show you guys, instead of the straight pins, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with these tiny little safety pins. See how tiny? They're only about 1 inch. And I'm gonna anchor that ribbon with the safety pins, and then it'll stay a little more secure. I don't have to worry, even if it slides a little bit, it won't come undone. And then I'm gonna pull these out. So I'm gonna do that while I'm talking to you guys, and we'll get this done. And then I might do another video where I actually put this on. The other thing I thought might be kind of cute is if the safety pins are cute, then I might just be able to leave them in, and then I won't have to sew. So wishful thinking, you know, wish me luck on being able to keep the safety pins. It'll also mean that I need to do things like make sure that they're symmetrical from one to the next, that they're all facing the same direction. You know, just because it's a black corset with safety pins doesn't mean that we're going for chaos, or, you know, we must keep some sense of decorum here. So hopefully the right combination of form and function here, and just keep this kind of sweet, you know. It'll be a cute little detail. It'll kind of play up the goth vibe without being overly stylized. And I think it's always cool to have an accessory that also is performing a function. So if it's functional, that's even better for, you know, if you're gonna have an element like this. Because you could just use these obviously as decoration. And you can see here, I talked about this in a previous video, how hard it is to work with this mannequin not having a break, because she just, like, any amount of pressure I put here as I'm trying to put this pin in, she just automatically pivots, right? And what I could do is I could do this side because the post is in this leg. See, she still turns, right? So she's on a swivel. Girl's on a swivel. And it is another reason that I may not be able to sit here and hand sew each one of these. So for that, if I choose to hand sew, as long as I have them anchored and in the right spots, then I can take this off and I can just sit and do my hand sewing while this is on my lap. It doesn't have to be on the mannequin once I get these anchored properly. So that's cool and fun. So let's see, I'm breaking in some boots and I'm working on this project today. I have another one over here I'll show you. It's another corset. I talked about one previously that I wear over clothing. It's still laying here. But I have another one and it's a similar project to this. I'll show you. So I have to get the safety pin in before I can pull the straight pin out, and so I'm kind of having to work around that. But that's the other thing about doing this. Now, if I need to make adjustments, I can just pull these out and put these back in. I won't be switching to a straight pin or switching to different tools. This can just be my tool, the safety pins from here on out for this particular garment. And again, the thing that's really great about this, at least in my opinion, these are not extremely, I missed one, I gotta go up one. These are not super extremely high quality garments. And so these are really good practice. There is something to be said about working with quality materials that will make your job easier down the road. Like even this flannel is a higher grade of material than what I'm working with right here. And so I guess what I'm saying is I feel totally safe experimenting on this, and if it doesn't work out, it's really not that big of a loss. For projects like this where it's kind of a novelty, like I think it's a good idea, I buy one, I practice with it. This is going to be my mock-up. It'll be my pattern if I choose to keep it. If it fits me properly, I may choose to use this as a pattern and just create this top, and maybe on the ones I create, I won't even have the corset, but I'll have the shirt tail detail. The sleeves are very flattering on me. They have the lace detail. The draping in the front is really flattering, which if I can get this in a place where I can actually get it buttoned for you guys and put it on, I will wear it in a future video. That's another thing. If I can leave these safety pins in, that means I can wear this like even today if I want to, you know. So that's nice because, you know, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about how the process is really part of, you know, these tasks. There's just the process itself is what takes time. And, you know, can I sit down in, you know, under 5 minutes and put in a whip stitch? Yes, I can. But that's usually tacking a hem, or it's just some little alteration that needs to be done kind of on the fly. And I can take it out later and do an appropriate job, you know, and actually go through a proper process and fix it later. So that's kind of where I'm at here. You know, I'm still troubleshooting. So like I said, I put in these straight pins and they just aren't, they slide around. This fabric's really silky. There's a good chance that they won't hold the position that I need this to hold. And these safety pins will just do a better job. And the videos help me, not only because I get to talk to you guys and share what I'm up to, but because I can look up, and this, just putting these safety pins in took me 16 minutes. And so that's my commitment to this project today. So once I'm off camera and I can take this off and, you know, go try it on, that'll be probably another 15 to 20 minutes of putting on the garment, looking at it, you know, getting it to fit properly, maybe pairing it with something that I can see myself wearing it with, and then putting it back on the mannequin, making any adjustments I need to make. I also have this bow turned out really cute. You can't see it, but it's where you tie the corset strings together. And it turned out really cute, and so I pinned that. And if this doesn't need any adjustments, then I'm gonna put a little stitch in there and keep that bow, because for some reason, you know, sometimes you just tie a bow and it works, and that one just happened to work. So anyway, there's Dolly with my corseted blouse. I'll show you the draping in the front. I'm not sure you'll be able to pick it up, but since I mentioned it. So she's gathered here. The lapel is a gathered lapel, and then it's got the higher neck in the back that can be brought up really high, kind of Victorian style, or it can be rolled. It can be folded. It's flattering. It just raises. It's the same thing. See, having that higher neckline, it just kind of creates this line that's just more flattering on women, I think, right? In styling, you would call this popping a collar. I just say it's, you know, I don't know about popping the collar, but this is what wearing it up. When I do this, it reminds me of Jane Fonda. Her collar is always popped, and it does work for her, very, very much so. It's very deliberate. Okay, so this is gathered through the collar, and then along the shoulder here, this front drape, the way this is cut, the folds come down over the breast, and then the gathering, there's a what we call I think we call this the Empress waist line, up right up under the breast, and then it buttons. It's very the front and side panels are very sleek and flat, and they just lay very nicely. The fabric has a little bit of weight to it, and so it will hang and drape appropriately. The one thing I would like to do eventually is add a little bit of a tulle. You can put in a little tulle ruffle under this, and it'll just give this some structure, because this sleeve would actually be really beautiful if it was just a little, the style of the garment, you would want this to have a little curve and come up off the edge of the shoulder. And because this is a heavier drapey kind of fabric, it doesn't really do that. So when you're wearing it, it really follows the natural curve, but there's all this gathering in here, and these sleeves are actually more of a little balloon sleeve. And so I might put the structure in there to kind of create that shape a little more. Anyway, there's Dolly, and there's our corseted blouse. And then this is just one of my troubleshooting issues that I'm having right now. I have this guy, lady, I guess I should say. Let's see, it's not really. So this is just a really solid satin kind of brocade corset that's really, it's almost like wearing a vest. Again, it's not necessarily what you call, like, it's not lingerie. It's not even really overly fancy, but it has really good structure. It's really well made. Again, it's pretty soft in the boning. It's not an overly severe corset. You wouldn't wear this extremely tight on the body. It's just, again, I would wear it over garments. The issue I have, these are adjustable, these straps are adjustable, and that's great. It slides there, and then it has an eye here. But as you can see, I'm gonna hang this so that I can use both my hands. As you can see right here, that should actually be turned the other way. It's oval. And it should be going crossways, and the strap should be being supported the width of the strap, which is about an inch. They're nice, significant, wide straps. But as you can see, it slides and it doesn't stay put. And because it's long this way, when you go to adjust the straps, it adds like an inch, and it makes it almost impossible to adjust this so that it actually stays up on your shoulder, because this is constantly sliding around. So my solution is I've already tacked the bottom, and you can see it stays in place better at the bottom. I am going to go ahead and make this stationary in this longer position, like that. So it'll have a gather at the top and the bottom. You know, anyone who sees it will understand that I've obviously done something there and changed it, but that's okay. It makes it custom. It's what gives it detail. It's what makes it mine, right? So anyway, troubleshooting this tiny little thing that just makes it impossible to adjust. I will say that the good thing about that, if I can't solve that problem, the one thing I will say is the straps, when you have this on, are meant to go very wide. They come out almost over just at the curve, almost at where the seam is here, maybe in just a little bit. And so if they're not set right, they just fall off. And luckily they sit in a way that I could just have a Bardot. I could just let it hang off my arm. It's annoying. I don't really like it. It's not intentional, and so it bugs me. But at the same time, overall aesthetically, it looks okay. The way that it hangs, it's kind of, because it's meant to be set wider, kind of outside the breast and come up from the pit here, it works if it falls off. So anyway, also I guess that's kind of a sexy element, you know, having the strap fall off the shoulders, you know, a thing. The great thing about this that is different than the other ones, this zips up the side, and so the number one rule with a corseted outfit or top when you're putting it on is you want to open your laces as far as possible. Even if the garment's going to be really huge, you want your laces to, you want your back two panels to have as much slack as possible. And then what makes this great is I zip it up, it has the side zipper, and then it's essentially kind of sitting in place. I don't have that front busk. I don't have these metal eyelets to contend with, right? Which can be a little bit difficult. I did a try on with this. I did a video and I didn't post it because I wasn't happy with how this was laced and the way it was fitting me. And it just became almost exhausting to try and get this positioned properly on my body. This is a two-person job. This one, on the other hand, I can zip it, I can adjust my straps, I can get it as high up or as low as I need it to be on my torso, to either go up over my hips or come up over my breasts, or have, you know, as high or as low as I want, get it zipped. And then these are actually way nicer. This fabric is just a little stiffer and has more integrity, and so it's much easier to pull this together and get the tension right and not have any buckling on the sides or anything. So anyway, it's a really fun garment, but it has its issues. The other thing is, even though me and Dolly are the same size, this corset won't actually zip on her, and it zips on me. So even though her and I are the same size, our shape, not only am I soft and malleable, and she is just a solid foam form, but my curves are in different places. So it's a really good basic model for size, but as far as fit, I have to do that on me and then take it off and put it back on her to kind of do the work. So anyway, that's where we're at today. So I'm doing some hand sewing. I'm breaking in my boots. You can see back here, this is pretty empty. This is my last leather collection. These are more springtime. I don't wear these in the rain all that often. I wouldn't really wear these out, but these are, I think I spoke about this before. These boots are the ones that came back, so the rest of my boots went, and I'll pick those up this week. And then these are they're just a really nice high quality leather. And so what I'll do this fall, since I won't be wearing them and I'm not in a hurry to get them back, I'll go ahead, I send them in, they polish, they take all the scuffs out, and then they'll condition the leather for me. And then these are kind of basically good to go for spring. And then, you know, in spring, if I wear these and I happen to get caught in the rain, it's not going to be the end of the world, and I'm not going to wreck my shoes. So that'll be nice, and I won't be having to cobble together appropriate footwear because of the weather. Because all of my fall stuff will be back, and I won't be wearing these for a while. So I think I spoke a little bit about the accessories and stuff of, I guess I'll just show you guys. I have this scarf that I'm so crazy about, and I'll just kind of drape it so you guys can see all the colors. So, I mean, God, jewel tones galore, and this really deep chocolate. It's just delicious. And then this is actually a really pale silver green, call it kind of celery, or like a pastel olive army green, right? So I have that going on in there, and that's important for what I'm going to show you next. And then I have this little fuchsia thin little belt. So I'm working on, and then I have this, when I wear this dress, it has this kind of side ruche here, And this is open, so you can do things like tuck this in, or I can add a belt and I can kind of tie it into the fabric. So anyway, and then that goes with, it could go, right now I'm wearing this brown dress with either my black or brown tall boots here. Anyway, it's kind of slinky, and it gives a little shape and dimension. If I was wearing this, it would be much more flattering than what I have on right now on my body. But so it's really great, and it's super simple. It's just a knit. I can layer it. It's warm. It's, you know, it's great. So working with this scarf. So that being said, and also this kind of burnt orange color as well. So that being said, here are, rather than having the brown dress, I have olive, and this is that light, you can see I need to steam this, that light kind of pastel olive green. In the camera, I'm sure it's picking up silver, but it's really the pastel shade of these kind of army olive pants. So, those of you that kind of know me and you get it, I have like a green collection, pretty much every shade of green, and I'll show you why. I found this scarf and I just became obsessed with it. It has probably 4 different shades of green, and it ranges from everything from turquoise to the cerulean blue that I showed you earlier in the other scarf, to olive, to army, and then it's actually a gold lame, and then it has this black kind of Celtic knot detail, and so it has, I can just put this scarf with a black and green outfit and call it a day. So the other thing I have this belt, and so it has kind of this two-tone brown metallic and like kind of hardware, bringing a little like rustic, and this bracelet, which I love. I can't remember where I found this, but it's stretchy. And it's actually kind of clear plastic over a green background. So it has, can't pick it up in the camera, but it has a lot of dimension. And because I have big hands, it stays kind of where it belongs, but it's loose, right? So it doesn't bother me to wear it. Anyway, let's see if I can keep my shit together here. So that's the green going on. Now, the cool thing here that really has me, I know you, if you guys have been watching my videos, you know what I'm about to show you. So now I have these two, what I would call jewel tone with kind of a neutral vibe going on, and I have a way to tie in my iridescent copper peacocky. I wish you guys could pick up on these, on the purple and teal that's in these, but the camera just isn't gonna pick it up. There's something that you really have to see in person. But in general, it picks up this. It's beautiful. And I compare it with brown. I wouldn't wear these shoes with that dress. They're not in the, they don't go together. These would be more with the slack. to me, in my opinion. And then with this one as well, which I can't take off the hanger now, but also honestly it has the copper in this, right? And I compare it with, I compare these brown shoes with that green outfit if I want. So, which maybe I'll do for another video. See, I'm working on that, okay? And then, so we're working on different palettes. And then, you guys have seen some of these things before, but here's another example. Oh, and then the green satin clutch in here. It actually goes with the purple scarf as well. But I have this really cool black iridescent. It's totally different, but again, it has that Aurora Borealis kind of peacock jewel tone vibe. And then I found these. These are actually clip-on, old-fashioned, kind of an iridescent bauble that kind of go with these, so awesome. And then my amethyst choker. And so these are the two things that I'm using for inspiration for my next little diorama I'll be putting together with color. So anyway, that's coming up. I'm really excited about starting to incorporate jewelry and accessories because of all these, the jewelry that my mother gave me for my birthday this year. Also, I think I mentioned these. One of the things I did, I think I talked about this when I sent my boots off. I am having my belts, the buckles the belts are stitched. And he's gonna put a snap on so that I can take the buckle on and off, and I can switch out my bedazzled. These are both like really Western style, but being able to just buy belt buckles is a really great way to accessorize, and it just adds a piece of jewelry. It's kind of interesting. And this one's totally plastic and fake. It was probably $5, and this one is silver and rhinestone and much more substantial. So you can see the back. Plastic, real. This one weighs about 3 times as much. And it's gorgeous and it's beautiful, and I'll wear that when I get the belt back. You know, just when something's this beautiful, it just kind of goes with everything, you know. Anyway, okay guys. I think that's a wrap for today. I'm gonna go, we're gonna do some baking today, and I believe that's all we really have on the agenda. So, and then some household chores upstairs with the ladies. So anyway, good to see you guys, and Elsewhere out.